the shadow of an orca glides beneath the surface, the ocean seems to hold its breath. It is not the largest creature, yet it commands every space in the water. It communicates through echoes, moves with strategy, and finishes each pursuit with calm precision. This is the strength of planning, not impulse. Is there any other creature that dares to challenge the orca's place as the ruler of the deep? Orcas are the largest members of the dolphin family, found from the icy polar regions to warm coastal waters. An adult can reach up to 30 feet in length and weigh more than 12,000 pounds, yet it remains remarkably agile. They live in tight-knit family groups, communicating and coordinating through a refined sound system. Beneath their black and white skin is a sharp, capable mind that remembers migration routes and adjusts tactics to each environment. With the ability to thrive from shallow waters to deep ocean trenches, orcas consistently hold their place as supreme hunters of the sea. On drifting ice near the edge of the polar seas, seals weighing 300 to 600 pounds use the flat surface to rest after long hours of diving for fish. Their thick layer of fat keeps them warm in icy water, but it also makes their movements on the ice slower and less stable. To orcas, this is a high-energy target with natural openings. The pod uses a technique called wavewashing, an example of collective intelligence at work. When the quiet signal passes through the group, they accelerate together, pushing water forward with a force equal to hundreds of pounds against the edge of the ice and making the surface tilt and sway. This method is not simple instinct, but a skill refined over time. If the first attempt does not work, a few members pull back to observe, adjust the angle, and build a better wave, guiding the seal off the ice without needing a long chase. Once the seal slips into the water, the orcas close every escape route within a few quick strokes. This is a confrontation between physical strength and collective strategy. For orcas, these waves are not just a technique, they are a hunting craft passed down through generations. In many cold and temperate oceans, the great white shark is still seen as a symbol of solitary power. With a body that can reach nearly 5,000 pounds and a bite force measuring thousands of pounds, it can control large prey with a single well-timed strike. Yet even this legendary predator can sometimes find itself at a disadvantage. Orcas read and exploit the shark's weaknesses by watching even the smallest reactions. They use high-frequency sound to disrupt the shark's ability to sense electrical signals in the water. At the right moment, an orca does not display force loudly. One member distracts from the front, causing the shark to keep changing direction. Meanwhile, the others close the circle, and gradually the great white loses the advantage it had at the start. There are even recorded cases showing that orcas selectively target the shark's most energy-rich internal resources before leaving the rest behind, an approach that highlights strategy rather than brute force. In the vast ocean, the most formidable creature is not always the strongest one, but the one that turns intelligence into its greatest advantage. In the deep blue waters offshore, the blue whale appears as the gentle giant of the ocean, stretching more than 100 feet and weighing hundreds of tons. Yet beneath those seemingly calm waves, a pod of orcas senses a rare opportunity. A massive whale that has drifted away from its group and shows signs of fatigue. In the open sea, a single moment of weakness can change everything. Instead of confronting it directly, the orcas choose a strategy of steady pressure. One by one, they move in, maintaining constant tension that prevents the blue whale from gaining enough distance to recover its strength. Each powerful sweep of the whale's tail can push several orcas back, but the pod knows how to avoid the danger. Minute by minute, the advantage slowly slips away from the giant. As exhaustion builds, the outcome becomes inevitable. Size is no longer a shield, and even the largest creatures can falter when faced with unified strength and intelligent coordination. Across the vast open sea, humpback whales tell a different story. They are known for migration journeys that stretch thousands of miles, leaving warm coastal bays where mothers give birth and raise their young, to reach feeding grounds rich in food but full of challenges. There, pods of 10 to 20 orcas wait like unseen guardians of the ocean. They understand that for a humpback mother and her calf, timing and location matter more than anything else. The orcas follow at a measured distance, waiting for narrow passages or choppy waters, looking for a moment when the calf drifts just slightly out of alignment with its mother. At the right time, one orca cuts in from the side, breaking the protective formation. The humpback mother tries to shield her calf, turning her body again and again. But a young whale still learning to swim long distances has limited stamina and gradually loses its early advantage. Here, the orca is not only a hunter, but a true strategist of the ocean. And the humpback mother, though exhausted, remains a symbol of unwavering maternal devotion in the vast sea. In calm but deep waters, where the seafloor is covered in fine sand, rays press their bodies flat against the bottom, like still wing-shaped shadows. Many species, including stingrays, carry a sharp spine at the tip of the tail for protection. With this type of prey, an orca keeps its distance, turning its body to create a wide arc before sweeping its tail in a powerful burst of water. Under such force, the ray has little ability to maintain its position. This skill shows that orcas rely not only on strength, but also on experience and memory, forming a living strategy map of the ocean. Sea lions, close relatives of seals, often rest on shorelines right at the water's edge. Yet this moment that seems safe can unintentionally create an opening. A pod of orcas waits offshore, patient and hidden, watching for young sea lions that wander or drift slightly away from the group. When one lets its guard down, several orcas surge forward, sliding partway onto the shore and using the momentum of their entire bodies to close the distance in a single wave. Once the chase reaches deeper water, the chance of escape becomes extremely small. The orcas take turns approaching from the sides, keeping the sea lion within a tight formation, closing every route within just a few strong strokes. Dolphins glide across the deep blue surface like silver arrows, symbols of ocean agility and sharp intelligence. With compact bodies, speeds of more than 20 miles per hour, and the ability to change direction in an instant, they hunt efficiently while avoiding most dangers. Living in pods and communicating through sound, dolphins are rarely easy targets. But against orcas, those advantages gradually fade. The pod splits into two groups. One stays behind, maintaining steady pressure so the dolphins must keep accelerating and turning until their formation begins to stretch. The other group waits ahead, blocking possible escape paths and creating an invisible net that slows them down and disrupts their structure. The moment a young or tired dolphin slips out of this protective formation, an opportunity opens. An orca accelerates over a short distance, makes a precise, energy-efficient move, and brings the pursuit to a quick end. When facing one of the fastest swimmers in the ocean, the orca's real advantage lies in reading the water, predicting movement and coordinating as if the entire pod were a single body. The Arctic is a stage for those who survive only by being stronger than the cold. Across this white kingdom of ice, where wind lashes through fractured floes, the polar bear emerges as a raw block of primal power. Each heavy step crushes brittle ice. Each stretch drives its whole body into a single, decisive moment of survival. Massive legs, a thick layer of fat, and a territorial instinct lift it to the rank of the silent ruler of the far north. In a place with no room for mistakes, even one encounter is enough to make every other creature turn away. Polar bears are the largest land-dwelling mammals in the Arctic. Adult males typically weigh 900 to 1,600 pounds. Their double-layer coat, hollow inside like tiny tubes, traps heat and reflects light, letting them nearly blend into the white ice. Beneath that fur lies a thick layer of fat that protects the body even when temperatures fall below -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Their paws, almost 12 inches wide, work like snowshoes, spreading weight and gripping thin, slippery ice. With strong endurance, polar bears can swim for dozens of miles without resting, sometimes traveling more than 30 to 40 miles to reach new ice. In a world where light and food shift with the seasons, each polar bear stands as proof of the Arctic ecosystem's extraordinary ability to adapt. In the white ice world, the narwhal, a whale with a long, spiraled tusk like a spear, rarely becomes a direct target for polar bears. They swim deep, move in pods, and usually surface only in narrow cracks of ice. But if a narwhal were trapped in shallow water as the tide drops, that rare opening could tempt a bear to take the risk. When the narwhal rises to breathe, its long, sharp tusk makes every approach dangerous for a predator. In reality, polar bears do not often catch narwhals, but they know how to use other opportunities: whale remains washed ashore. When a narwhal is pushed onto the beach by waves, that rich supply of food can keep a bear going for weeks, especially during the melt season, when hunting grows harder. Within the harsh cycle of the far north, polar bears endure through watchful instinct, flexibility, and an ability to make use of every trace the ocean leaves behind. Among the polar bear's greatest challenges, adult walruses are always near the top. A single walrus can weigh more than 1,500 pounds, built with thick muscle and powerful reactions both on land and in the water. For a bear, approaching such a massive animal often costs more energy than it can gain in return. Encounters usually begin at a disadvantage. On the cold shoreline, adult walruses gather in groups, forming a natural barrier. Their long, strong tusks can deliver forceful pushes, making the bear cautious whenever it tries to get close. In the water, the walrus advantage grows even clearer. They twist quickly and move with ease, leaving the bear few openings to approach. Because of this, instead of facing adults directly, polar bears shift to a different tactic, looking for younger walruses near the beach edge. This is when instinct guided by timing takes over. The bear moves lightly, staying downwind to avoid detection, then makes a sudden rush meant to secure the target before it slips back into the safety of the water. When successful, the rich fat, roughly 100,000 calories, from a young walrus helps the bear recover its strength during the long melt season. In the kingdom of white ice, strength alone doesn't always decide the outcome. Sometimes it is agility that keeps the Arctic's largest predator in rhythm with the harsh world it calls home. In the polar bear's natural diet, ringed seals and bearded seals are the most important energy source. They are rich in fat, helping bears store fuel to endure the long, lean months. On the quiet ice, every small sign, from breathing holes to slide marks, can guide a bear toward prey. An encounter begins with absolute patience. The bear lies motionless for hours beside a breathing hole, waiting for the moment a seal surfaces. When the instant comes, the bear's rush happens in a split second, using the power of its forelegs and body weight to secure the prey quickly before it can slip back into the water. It also makes almost no sound while quietly swimming up behind a seal near the edge of the ice. From the water, the bear suddenly surges upward with stored strength, closing the distance in an instant. The chase ends fast, but it does not always go smoothly. The success rate of this tactic is only about 10 to 20%, turning every approach into a major gamble between remaining energy and the risk of going without food. When a hunt succeeds, the energy-dense fat helps the bear hold its body heat, regain strength, and stay fed through the melting ice months, when hunting becomes harder. In this harsh world, every small win is a lifeline, pulling them through a relentless cycle of survival. A brief moment, yet it carries the balance of the Arctic within it. As food from the sea becomes scarce, polar bears are forced to look for less familiar options. One of these is the eggs of seabirds nesting on steep cliffs, where even a small misstep could send a bear sliding down cold, sharp rock. The scent of eggs, the feathers, and the warmth of the nest drive it to climb higher, ignoring the warning pecks from hundreds of birds protecting their nests. The energy from eggs is far lower than what a seal or whale provides, but during long periods of shortage, each nest becomes an important source of renewal. On those windswept cliffs, the polar bear once again proves its remarkable ability to adapt, always finding a new path of survival, even in the most difficult seasons. During years of deep ice melt, when food becomes extremely scarce, polar bears enter a survival phase harsher than ever. As energy runs low, some large males may turn to targeting their own species, especially younger bears that are not yet able to protect themselves. This is not common behavior, but a last response when nature pushes them to the edge. In the sound of rushing wind, an adult male gains speed, using its size to close the distance. The mother turns to shield her cub, trying to keep it within a safe space but cannot hold the gap. The chase drives them toward a shallow pool covered by thin ice. The cub slips, and the male seizes the opening, using his weight to overpower it before the mother can pull the cub away. In the ecological picture, this behavior is not cruelty, but a survival strategy of a species facing extreme food shortages. A male targeting a cub helps it regain energy and can also prompt the female to return to her breeding cycle, an ancient instinct found in several large mammals. Beyond these encounters, bears still rely on far less confrontational food sources. Marine animals washed ashore. From whales to narwhals to seals, each washed-up animal remains can feed them for many days, sometimes weeks. In these harsh conditions, such quiet offerings from the ocean become lifelines across the frozen north. Through all of this severity, polar bears continue to adapt, powerful yet vulnerable, mirroring the changing pulse of the Arctic itself. In the shallow northern bays, beluga whales often gather with the tide. When the water pulls back, some individuals become trapped in small saltwater pools among the rocks. This is a rare moment when a polar bear can reach an energy source far greater than any seal. The bear stands on high rocky ledges, where the sea breeze carries scent and faint vibrations from beneath the surface. From there, it studies every escape path and every crack in the rocks to calculate the best angle of approach. It tries rushing down from above, but the slope and slippery stone give it no advantage. The bear swims after the belugas, yet in the water, these small whales are much quicker and more agile. With only a few dives, they slip out of reach. Realizing that chasing is impossible, the bear shifts to its final strategy, blocking the exit. It stays completely still at the narrowest point of the channel, where the belugas must pass as the tide rises again. At the moment the whale glides close, the bear suddenly extends its forelegs, using its body weight to secure the target before the water can carry it away. Patience The ability to read the terrain and constant tactical adjustments show that belugas are not only a test of strength, but also a test of intellect. On that cold, rocky ground, the polar bear's refined instincts once again reveal why it stands among the greatest predators of the far north. Among the crossing waves, the orca is not only a hunter, but a calculating mind of the deep. Every pursuit is just a small fragment in the vast survival map of the ocean. There, collective intelligence and remarkable adaptability keep the delicate balance of marine life intact. If these stories make the viewer pause for a moment, a like or a subscription is a gentle signal to continue the journey. Because countless unseen moments still wait beneath the waves, ready for those patient enough to listen to the ocean's call.